Well, the saga continues with the Lane Kiffin train as new odds have been released on where he is favored to go, him being Lane Kiffin. He had a presser yesterday that I think stirred a lot of heads. We talked about on our show with Champs Corner with Stephen Harris on Monday night, and a lot of the things pointed to where Florida seemed very favorable. Again, they're just words, they're just comments, they're just conversations, but this is where we are in the Lane Kiffin saga. We're in reading tea leaves and trying to figure out where does this man want to be in a few weeks set to come. Well, the odds are out. We're going to talk about it with our guy, Cody the Professor. We're going to look at the Kalshi odds as well because they give you a feel of what the people are thinking, where they're placing their money, who they feel are moving certain directions. With Eli being more favored to Penn State with each passing day, that continues to push Lane farther up the ladder. Now, it's just for those that you don't know that haven't been following along. Let's kind of go down this path here of the odds situation. And I want to be very clear. I've said this every single time we talk about the odds thing, that this isn't gospel. But we don't have much. So we're trying to, as fans, trying to figure out where things are going. This gives you the best synopsis of, I guess, of a feeling of what the situation is happening. Well, Sean, what moves these odds? I always like to make sure we have an understanding of this. A multitude of things do, okay? Whether it's someone putting a lot of money on a certain person to land a job, that will move a line a certain direction. News being heard from credible sources will move a line a certain direction. How the fans respond, how interaction on Twitter happens, how certain people navigate their day, right? The noise that is happening will have some type of impact on the line as well. So all those things are happening at once. The line starts moving. I do believe that his presser yesterday probably helped move that line a little bit more in favor of Florida. I've also said this. These lines aren't like UFC lines or your typical lines where, like, when you see it minus whatever, that's a lock. In UFC, I like to stay on this example. If someone breaks their foot in practice, the line gets eliminated immediately. In this world with coaching, someone can break a foot at any given second, meaning that line can move at any. It's the line till it's not. So, again, how much stock can you put into it? That's a great question, and that's why we're going to look at the Kalshi market too, because that's kind of how a stock market works, and we'll see how they're feeling on that one. Cody, welcome to the show, big fella. A lot of craziness, a lot of hecticness. I will say Ole Miss fans have been much quieter on the timeline as of today, because outside of them just feeling good and having the possession in hand, right? Having what's wanted, having the trophy in their house is really what's making them feel confident, as it should. That's a great place to be. And maybe his tweets every now and then what makes his tweets so good is that they feel like they're for you. No matter what seat you're in, whatever your perception of the tweet is, it's made for you. Outside of a couple times he puts some Ole Miss colors on there, but even then, it still feels like however you want to read it, you can read it in spite or in lieu of what you need.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think the most interesting thing too is, for not being a great program for some other programs saying we're not out there. I don't hear any odds really about Virginia Tech, Penn State, any of those other ones. Florida has dominated the space with Lane Kiffin, and seems like that's really the only big fish hire that's going to happen. I mean, yeah, you'll have some other guys, but the wow factor is Lane Kiffin to the swamp. And I feel every day that I wake up and I get that Dan Thompson tweet about the odds, they keep getting better and better and better. Where we at? Minus what?
Don't tell them yet. So this thing opened up, I want to say like minus 250. I could be wrong there, but like the first week, it was like, whoa.
It was plus 300 at one time.
I'm getting there, Cody. And then it moved. Then it swung. Then it swung to like plus 300. Eli was minus 150. And we're like, holy smackarooskies. What a flipperooski. And the drink thing is he is not appreciated in Florida, and I think that played a huge factor. Like the response was not good, and then slowly Lane starts moving back. He goes from plus 300 to plus 200, plus 150, and then just the other day, like last week, he was minus 150. He was back in the lead again with Drink close second, and even with Drink being favored to Penn, he's still favored now. As of today, minus 300. Though I want to argue the most favorite he's been. That is a heavy favorite to be at as we've gotten closer. I mean, we're closer to D-Day, right? Like, that's a fact. Whether it's going to be the
Every day
first
moves
day
closer.
after the last game of the season, which would be this month, or whether it's sometime in the middle of December, we are closer to that date that a decision will be finalized. And right now, here's how things look. And let's take a look at it. Because Drink and Frank is favored by Kalshi to go to Penn State by 77%. Like, so someone who's plus 600 is favored mightily to land another job. Drinkowitz is like 60% to land at Penn State. So who's in second is favored mightily to go elsewhere. Brom, Fish, and Key are all very... Fish is a sneaky one. Brom and Key seem to be staying put, if I'm being honest, just because of the alma mater that...
I think he just signed an extension, didn't he? Or he's
He's working on it. He's working on it. Yeah. It's being discussed. So, and Brom seems to be pretty content and happy where he is. Fish is, again, the only one that feels kind of like a true...
Well, we've had people sign extensions. Matt Rule signed an extension. There's a couple others that signed extensions. You know who hasn't signed an extension?
Minus 300. Plus 120. Again, his presser yesterday, I think, struck a chord. Like, when asked about what makes a good coaching job, I mean, he described Florida without describing... He described other schools, too. Let's not get it twisted. But he, for sure as hell, didn't describe Ole Miss. That was the big one. And how did he describe it, Sheldon? Well, he mentioned Heisman Trophy winners and national championships and a massive crowd. I mean, everything else you could argue, because he talked about NIL support and having the collective. You could argue that Ole Miss is getting it all together, and we won't get into that. You can't argue history. You can't argue that aura that he was referring to. And so that's where I think Florida really kind of climbed the ladder. Again, could he just be trolling all of us? Like, this is the weird thing. This is what makes Lane Lane. Like, you don't know exactly what he is trying to say. And then you see the Kalshi odds for Florida. And you see the lines, right? Drink is the blue line. Like, how up and down this thing has been. But since I can't see the exact date.
Well, it's like when they asked him about are the players shocked that he's a part of all this noise? It's like, no, these kids nowadays, they're getting talked to right after a game the same night. They have a big game. There's coaches calling them, trying to whisper in their ear sweet nothings. Like, they know what this is. They're in it more than I am.
I love that, because I mentioned it a couple shows ago, like, where the world has changed, where they're like, they understand, like, maybe like four years ago, they wouldn't have understood it as much because they didn't live in it. They weren't being, touted around as superstars and trying to be poached. But now they are. So you're right.
Season.
They get it.
Season.
And here's the thing. Why they get it. Because they could be 100% into Ole Miss. They can love where they're at. But a coach from maybe Ohio State gives them a call, and he's like, sounds like a good deal, coach. I'm going to finish this thing out, but I'll give you a call when I'm done here. But I'm here right now. Is that cool? All right, bet. I'll call you in a couple weeks. Like, these guys had to have grown up, and so they understand, like, I've got business to do. Like, I can't come play for you today, tomorrow, or the next week. So that conversation's irrelevant. I appreciate you reaching out. I like what you have to say. I kind of like it a lot. I wanted to go Ohio State a couple years ago. I'm at Ole Miss right now, though. So let me figure this thing out. That's how coaches operate too, and that's how humans operate. And so now the kids understand it a whole lot more. So he doesn't have, and I think that's where Ole Miss could argue, like, well, he doesn't have to sign an extension. He doesn't do any of these things, because kids don't sign extensions in the middle of their year when they're being poached, when they're being tampered with.
Have you ever got a great job offer when you were looking for a job? No,
it's
you always
always
get a great job offer. It's when you're not looking, when you're happy, when you're kosher, when you just got a good raise.
When you got the velvet ditch, baby.
When you got the velvet ditch, when the boss just took you on the nice golf course and treated you and wined you and dined you and, did that thing. And now somebody calls and says, hey, I'll give you an extra $5,000 a month. Well, is the extra money really worth my happiness? I'm pretty happy here. That's where it gets slicey and dicey. But you still own a home in Boca. You love to saltwater fish. And you
And
have extreme ties to the University of
and our
Florida. If
governor here
I'm
in Florida just extended red snapper season. I'm not saying that he's trying to just have some small manipulation, but if it
just
is,
for Lane, was it the Lane Act?
it
The
might have
Lane
been called the Lane
Saltwater
Act. Yeah, it
the
might have been
Lane
called the Lane
Saltwater
Act. Yeah,
Snapper Act?
Ron DeSantis passed the Lane Act. Yes, 100%.
I mean, hey, thanks, Gov, for looking for us.
Yeah, appreciate you looking out, big fella. The Lane Act, and he's been like
Listen,
not
if
as LSU government involved, but I would say
Yeah.
he's kept his ears close to the ground for sure. I mean, he's aware of what's happening here. He wants Florida to be back on the map.
Well,
No question.
well, yeah, and he's tired of top talent leaving the state. You know, you heard him a couple of years ago. He's signing all these he signs all the letters for all the All-America high school All-Americans, and he's like, "Oh, going to Georgia. Oh, going to Alabama. Oh, going to Ohio State." Like, we got three great universities here in Florida. None of them are staying.
All aboard,
Get
baby.
Lane-
Let's
you
open
get
up
Lane
snapper
train.
season.
Hey, snapper season might be all year long if Lane Kiffin gets the job.
If Lane, maybe that's part of the negotiations. Maybe that's where the holdup's at. You know what I mean? Ole
Maybe
Miss can't
that
offer
is
that.
it.
That was
The
it.
snapper.
He's like, guys, really, I really
Yeah.
don't care about the money. I just need, because right now
He said money
got-
wasn't the thing.
I got
so
one
maybe
week.
it
I
is
got
red
one weekend.
snapper.
And it's in the middle of football season. I need this thing or it's in the middle of recruiting season. I need this thing to go another week for me so I can get
Yeah.
out there a couple of days. Ron,
We need to pass the Lane Wildlife Act. Whatever he wants to fish, whenever he wants to fish it to get him to UF, that's what we need to pass.
He should have his own passes. He should get a card. He gets to use it whenever he wants.
Like a gold card, like in MLBs when you've played for a certain amount of years, you can go to any game you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Called the MLB Gold Card. Yeah,
Yeah.
we need the Lane Kiffin Gold Fishing Card. Like
Yeah,
the whole boat just fishes
wild
for
eyed go
everywhere.
card. Yeah, I think we just solved the
Yeah.
problem. Maybe I don't understand why Turnkey doesn't
What
hire
are we
us.
doing, dude?
Yeah,
like
I
why are
just-
we not running government and
Yeah,
being
seriously.
head coaches?
I mean,
Like,
could you imagine you turn on your local news and it's just us doing beer reviews and solving problems with gold cards? I mean, I just don't know what else you could need. What else you could be asking for? I mean, it's just
hey,
I-
you know,
we do it all
unlike
here.
LSU, show me the man, I'll show you the crime. Here at Hightop, it's give me a beer, we'll figure out the problem. Okay.
Boys and girls, there it is for you. Little odds update. Well, again, we talked with Dan. We don't think anything, and obviously nothing going major is going to happen. But you just want to kind of keep an eye close to this thing and follow it along. It's fun to watch, fun to be a part of for sure. While we're here, this is where for Florida fans, we ain't got much to be excited about, and this is our life at this moment. Is where's our future? That's what we're living in. So. We'll talk about this game a little bit this weekend. I still want to beat Ole Miss this weekend. I don't know about you, but I want to whip that ass. Yeah, I want to throttle them. Like it doesn't matter to me.
Could you imagine knocking them out playoffs 2 years in a row?
Yeah, could you imagine we throttle him and Billy G gives him the gold card on the handshake at the end? Like that's what I want to have happen.
Yeah.
But y'all be good, be safe, smash the like button, subscribe, do all the good stuff. Cody the Prof, Shelton and I. We'll see you boys in the next one. Peace and love, baby.